Midwest Access to one of my favorite segments and my favorite people, Krista Ryan. She is the author of Keep Freaking Going, and we've been doing these stories. We do about 5 minutes of it on our Friday segment, and then these stories are not 5-minute stories.
They're not.
So we go into the long version on our website, and so we've got collected many different people's stories, quite a variety of experiences, and so we'd love for you to go and take a look at those interviews. But today we're going to talk about a little more about your book and about what the KFG formula actually is. We've referred to it, but let's talk about where it came from and what it is.
Yes. So KFG, it stands for Keep Freaking Going. It's about moving forward, navigating changes.
Yeah.
You know, we hear a lot of when life gives you lemon, make lemonade.
Right.
So
part of where's the sugar though?
Yeah, and part of me is like, well, that's bitter, that's sour. I don't want to do I don't want to do that. So we resist change, and quite frankly, we don't know what to do when things get thrown our way that are completely out of our control.
Right.
So the formula was actually born back in 2017 when I was involved in a mass shooting. I was already a workplace performance coach, so I was supporting organizations on a global scale.
Yeah.
And a lot of my clients were saying, Krista, what were you thinking in those dark moments?
Right.
And I started saying, I was thinking, keep freaking going. In that moment, I was really running for my life.
Actually.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps. You've got to read her book and read through the story of what it was like to be in your shoes at that moment, just thinking, keep effing going.
Yes, yes, it's really do whatever it takes to survive. And then after I came home, you know, I started healing mentally from that. And it took about 2 years, and I started breaking down the tools that really help support me in healing mentally from that, showing up better, living with intention. Like I decided I'm gonna live the best life I possibly can. And I started coaching my clients and other individuals through it. And what I found, as you and I both know by sharing these stories, is we're so similar in the way that we navigate changes. And so I created KFG. And it's kind of funny because I never wanted to be an author. That was never on my life resume. But a lot of people were saying, do you have a toolkit? Do you have a workbook? Do you have something that I can, share with my friend, my daughter, my husband, my, organization? So that's why I wrote the book. And it stands for Keep Freaking Going. That's the action step for, living our best life. But in the book itself and in the formula, it breaks down into K stands for no.
Okay.
That's know where you're at, being honest with yourself.
Okay.
The F is all about focus. And that's focus on the response that is best for you in that moment.
Ooh.
So that's the choice.
Yes.
And then the G is go. So KFG, instead of keep freaking going, it's no, focus, go.
Okay.
So it's taking the action, being courageous in that first step forward into a better life, a better version, your next, chapter.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to break it down and kind of talk through what that looks like.
Yes, because like I said, we've referred to, it's so great to have these tools, and you talked about, in your experience, being diagnosed with cancer while you're doing the fun thing of the day, which is getting your hair done, and found out in the hairstylist chair, oh wow, here I'm presented with this. So we've talked about, then you went immediately to this formula.
I did.
And now we get to talk about what that actually means. So in that moment, maybe we can talk about just really briefly, and then we'll break it down in future sessions.
Yeah.
What was your no in that moment when you found out, yes, it's cancer?
Well, it was really crazy because I never knew when I wrote this book that I was actually writing it for my future self. I truly believe that.
That's crazy.
Because like you said, I was one of those rare unicorns, I say. I was diagnosed with colorectal cancer at the age of 44. So just 1 year ago this month.
Wow.
And that's before you're even screened.
Yes. And that's the early screen. I mean, it used to be 50, now it's 45. So, way before what you would think.
So the second I saw the phone call coming in from my medical team, I had that gut feeling. I kind of knew. And I took it in the bathroom. And I walked through the steps, no focus, go.
Okay.
Where I was told I had cancer, too early to know the stage at the time or know exactly what the next steps were.
Yeah.
But I took a couple deep breaths. I went negative because we're wired to go negative first. And then I anchored in the no focus, go steps, KFG.
Wow.
And I took a couple deep breaths. I went out, washed out the color. I used to be very blonde.
Yes.
Had my stylist wash out the color. And then went home to have a conversation with my husband and my family.
Wow.
And it was just, okay, this is the truth in the moment. You have cancer. Focus on the proper response. Get the foils out of my head.
Step one.
Don't freak out because we don't know where we're at.
Yep.
And go take action. And that was go home, sat on the patio, had a nice cup of tea or some coffee,
Wow.
had the courageous conversation with my husband, and we kind of got ourselves in the right mental state and got a game plan in place in that moment.
Wow. That could have gone so differently.
Oh boy, it absolutely could have.
Yes.
And my brain did for a moment.
Oh, I'm sure. Like you said, we're wired that way. And so we're going to then have another session with Krista next week and talk about the no. We're then going to do the focus and the go. So hang with us. Check back to our website all the time so you can see all the different episodes and everything that we're doing with Krista. All right, we'll be back with more Midwest Access in just a few minutes.